Welcome everyone. Welcome back to D Network, Pretty Girls Trade 2. And today we are going over our trendsetter hands-on activity, our second one. In the first hands-on activity, I showed you guys my toolbox, my handy dandy toolbox that I recommend you guys utilize in order to better view the market, better mark up with your technical analysis, no matter what you trade, whether you're an options trader or intraday scalper, swing trader, doesn't matter. Okay, these are tools that you need to know, that you need to have in order to better see the market. So we're going to get straight into this activity. It's actually very simple, very easy. Head over to your TradingView account, and I want you to do the following. I should get my notes because I prepared. Okay. Um, so the first thing I want you to do is go to your 5-minute time frame. This is what your chart is going to look like for my beginners. Now, my advanced will have their own timestamp. Okay, and I'll put that either earlier on or right now. And this is for my beginners. With my beginners, I want you to get acquainted with really looking at trends and being able to accurately identify a trend. All right. So this is what your chart should look like. We just change it to a line chart. You can switch back and forth. If it doesn't look like this for you, you could just go ahead and press this drop down bar, and you're going to interchange between candles and line charts. Okay. But I primarily focus on candle charts. That's why it didn't look like that at first. Excuse me. So the first thing I want you to do right now, I'm on the 15-minute time frame. Okay. I want you to go drop down to the 5-minute time frame. All right. Drop down to the 5-minute time frame, and I want you to locate your circular dot. Your circular dot. I want you to locate your dot. Okay. Locate that dot, and I want you to line up your vertical line. So you're gonna click your vertical line in your toolbox, and you're going to make sure that it's directly hovering over that circle. Very, very important. Very, very important. Make sure it's exactly over that dot. Okay, as you can see here, it's directly over that dot. All right. Now go to your daily time frame, and I want you to tell me if you are in an overall up or down trend on the daily time frame. How do you do this? By marking your support and resistance levels. Okay, so if you don't know how to mark your support and resistance levels, head over to Hands On Activity 1 where you will learn how to do that. If you're still struggling with support and resistance, then that means that you are probably ready to head over to the advanced side, which is why I have an advanced portion right after the beginners. You're going to mark your resistance, okay, of your previous swing high to swing low. Now, this is a strong, resistance level. However, this level is stronger, okay? It's stronger because I have proof that it rejected this resistance level here. That's one touch, right? And remember our 2 to 5 touch rule. A strong structure level has anywhere between 2 to 5 touches from this market, from our line. All right. And so on and so forth. We can see it here, here. There's some stuff going on here. And I'm sure there's a lot more going on in the past. But we're focusing on the last 6 months. Remember, I tell you guys that all the time. This is June. We're in November. So roughly 6 months, not quite. Okay? So I want you to now focus your eyes on the previous swing high and swing low, and the previous swing high, swing low to where we are right now is right here. This is our previous swing high to swing low, so we're going to mark our support and resistance based off of that. All right? Our support is going to be roughly right here. Give it some space and some room because remember, we're currently here. We don't want to cut it off and be in a different range. We're trying to identify trend and range right now, but mostly trend. All right. So I like this support level. I like this support level because if you look roughly 4 to 6 months prior, you can see that we have some points in the market. Okay, we have some strong points in the market, and right after Bitcoin, because we're on Bitcoin, you might trade Bitcoin. Right after Bitcoin came down to the support level, it then went up to then come down again to then go all the way up to roughly 123,000. So this is a very strong structure level at roughly 101,000. Okay. There's another structure level, another support level that's pretty strong as well. But ultimately, right, we want to give our range room to show us what it wants to do. So we don't want to cut it off so early. That's why I didn't put it here, because we have points here and here. You may be wondering why we don't have it higher, because we have to make sure we're looking at where we're currently at. Okay, very important. You don't want to lose sight of that. So now that we have, identified what our focus is, okay, I want you to now manipulate your chart so that you can easily see what's happening. Okay, because we just went over this. We went over different trends, went over phases, all these things, right? We're still on the daily time frame. I want us to zoom into where our previous swing low to swing high is all that we can see. Okay, and I want you to tell me, we have two types of trends that we can see right now. We have a sideways market, because we have equal highs and pretty equal lows for the most part, but ultimately it's a downtrend. Okay, ultimately we are in a downtrend. This is a high, but this is a lower high, and this is also a lower high. All right, so in this activity, what I want you to do is I want you to label the trend. Is the trend going up or is it going down? It's going down. So you're going to go and press your text toolbox, and you're going to add your text and type in with your keyboard, with your keyboard. All right. After you've done that, you're then going to head over to your right, and you're going to press or hover over this camera. You're going to take a snapshot by opening in a new tab. You open in a new tab, and you're going to see this pop up. Okay. Remember, you're going to have the text letting you know what trend it is, if you can't already tell it's in a downtrend. All right. Now, you've done that for the daily time frame. Once you have your screenshot, you're going to save this tab. Do not close out the tab. Okay. You're going to go back to Trading View. You're going to keep your lines and delete your circles. All right. We're now going to drop down to our 4-hour time frame. Okay. And you're going to do the same thing. Okay. And we're still on the 4-hour time frame. So we're going to mark our ceiling, which this is a nice ceiling on the 4-hour. I like this ceiling. Let's do this right here. I like that ceiling. Okay. And then we are going to make that pink. All right. That's our 4-hour resistance. We're going to circle. Okay. And I want you to tell me what the trend is on this as well. We're going to just keep repeating what we've been doing. Find your support levels. This is the strongest support level we have so far. And we're going to make that light green. Okay, this is our 4-hour. You're going to do the same thing. Click your text box and say 4-hour, and are we in an uptrend or a downtrend? All right, what are we seeing? Line up our chart to the previous, whichever one you want. You can do this one or you can do this one. But either way, I personally probably do this one. Either way, right? Are we experiencing lower highs and lower lows? Yeah, we are. This is a low, and the current low, or the most previous low that we have, is lower than this low. Do you agree that this circle is just a touch bit lower than that? Yes. We're in a downtrend. Okay. Yes, the market is going sideways overall, but we're in a downtrend. Okay. Yes, we see it's equal. Yeah. But lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low. Right? If the overall trend is telling you we're in a downtrend, what are you going to do? You're going to sell. All right. You're going to do the same thing and repeat. Hover over it, take a snapshot, okay, and open in a new tab. You're going to keep this as well. You're then going to do it one final time by going to your 30-minute time frame and doing the exact same thing. All right, let's delete this circle so we don't get confused as to what's going on. And I'm just for this, we'll just zoom in. Okay, zoom into where you can only see your 4 hour and zoom into where you can only see your 4 hour resistance and your 4 hour support. Now we're going to find our 30-minute resistance and our 30-minute support based off of previous swing high to swing low structure. Our previous swing high to swing low structure, if you haven't gotten already, I'm already going to put it to right here. This is my previous swing high to swing low that I'm willing to recognize. And the only reason I don't go any lower than this and use this as my previous swing high to swing low is because I prefer to catch bigger moves. So my personal viewpoint is going to be different. But this is also considered a previous high right here. This could be considered, this range right here from this high to this low can be considered the previous swing high to swing low because it is. But my previous swing high to swing low with what I know about Bitcoin will be from here to here. All right. So with that being said, on our 30-minute time frame, let me just make sure it's nice and zoomed in how I want it to be. All right. I truly like this resistance level. I think it's a strong resistance level. We have a point here, a point here, a point here. All right. We're going to make this red again, the same red as our daily time frame. We know overall we're looking to sell because all higher time frames are moving downwards. And then as far as our support is concerned, would you say we have a true, can you really see what may or may not happen? We don't really know because price is kind of moving sideways now, right? Literally moving sideways. And so because of that, we're not sure, but we can concur that it really shouldn't go any lower than this line right here. It really should not go any lower. And if it does, chances are it's going to continue on in that downtrend. All right. But most importantly, I want you to just continue doing what you did with circling your points. Okay. Circle your points of your reaction to the market. This is okay. You kind of did, but be as exact as possible because the better your structure levels are, the better your entries will be, which means the more you profit. Okay, as you can see here, this low is higher than this low. So we're seeing some indecision in the market. We just got finished basically doing a top-down analysis and identifying the range of the market for my beginners. All right. What I want you to do automatically, you should already know we're on a candle chart and a discussion. Okay. And essentially, I want you to do the same thing my beginners did and do a top-down analysis, marking up your support and resistance on your daily time frame. Okay. Whatever financial instrument of your choice, I want you to mark up the support and resistance on your previous swing high to swing low on your daily time frame. Okay. Go ahead and do that for me and find the strongest structure level, extremely important. So go to the previous swing high to swing low, find your strongest structure level, and I want you to go ahead, okay, let me know what is the trend. This is a downtrend. You're going to use your text button and you're going to go ahead and label it downtrend. You're going to then take a screenshot, open in a new tab, and then you're going to have that there for your records. Hold on to this, okay? Do not delete this. You can copy the link, copy it to your clipboard, and I want you to then, in whatever notes of your choice, I would recommend opening up an email And you can actually email me. Okay, you can actually email me at this email right here. We're going to drop down to the 4 hour, and we're going to do the same thing, marking our resistance and our support, which I would keep mine the same. All right, and then we go to the 1 hour and we see what it's looking like. Here's another resistance, even lower. You're going to do the same thing for each time frame, taking a screenshot, opening in a new tab, to then copy the link. This is for my beginners, but to then copy the link and keep it for your personal records. You're familiarizing your eyes by doing this. So we keep doing this. This would be my 1 hour resistance. Okay. This would be my 1 hour resistance, 1 hour support. Then we drop down to the 30-minute. I would keep the same resistance and support because you want the strongest level possible. You don't want to get caught up in all this fluff. Look how long these wicks are. These wicks could take you out of a trade. So that's why I like to give Bitcoin room to breathe. And then I catch the pullback at the highest level for a sell, because I sold this morning. Who sold this morning? Amen. Who sold this morning? I'm just curious. Okay. So that is hands-on activity number 2. Again, if you're a little bit confused or anything like that, go back and watch the video. I would recommend, that you consider looking through the beginner stage. I don't ever want any of my traders, especially my seasoned traders, to feel like, oh, I don't know anything. Oh, I gotta know, it's gotta be on candlestick. Sometimes you gotta go back to the basics, because I never personally experienced any 2 mentors teaching the same way. I'm just gonna be honest. When I learned how to trade, it was from many, many, many different people. And so this curriculum reflects that. It reflects that experience and that journey that I have had within my 5 collective years of trading. Okay. So, I recommend that you get into the habit of doing these exercises and activities because it's free. You literally do not have to waste your money anymore just to make money. It's free. Get on TradingView, go ahead and do this activity and send it to me. I'd be more than happy to review it, see what you guys think about, how I'm doing so far with the curriculum. I'm doing my best. And lastly, okay, if you are struggling with any vocabulary or anything like that, the meat and potatoes of what you truly need to know, I do have a WhatsApp group that I have created. I'm currently on Telegram though, so you will have access to the key terms. You will have access to my worksheets where you can crack the code and learn trading verbiage, okay? And you will also be able to live trade with me, create a demo account, and get into the market. Finally be able to extract from the market what everyone's been hiding for God knows whatever reason. But anyways, I digress. I got more videos to record, you guys. I'm on a roll. Thank you so much for your time. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Danny Trades 2 at proton.me.